Hello and welcome to episode 10 of our Timberborn Update 5 hard mode playthrough with the Folktails faction here in cycle 19, day 7. It is the start of a 30-day drought, so hopefully there is an episode 11. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think we're in okay shape. We do have maxed water storage. It is not enough water storage, mind you, for 30 days, but it is maxed. And we have a decent handle on food. First thing we're going to do, though, we're going to pause. And we're going to take a look-see at getting this large tank built. It obviously doesn't need to be the biggest priority because it has other things that have to be built first. But this one, on the other hand, is ready to go. Just have to get it actually constructed. There's nothing stopping that except for, transporting the materials, which we do happen to have exactly enough in terms of metal blocks. And we have barely enough for gears and barely enough for planks. So it's going to be very close. We'll do our best to see that we can actually accomplish all of that. So outside of that, we obviously want to try and get all of this water as much as we can because it is going to evaporate. And we also want to make sure we're irrigating here, up here, and then also maybe want to look into putting another irrigation area right here underneath this medium tank and the tapper shack and all sorts of good stuff like that. Because this little one wide area here is definitely not going to last. That is going to be a problem. And we've got a lot of stuff that has to go right for us to have another episode of this after the 30-day drought that may or may not wipe us completely out depending on how we handle things. But I think we're going to be in okay shape. We'll go ahead and get this thing back going here and start making this large tank. This is empty, but there's still some water up here, so we're going to make sure that we take full advantage of all of this. Obviously, we can't go all the way down because we don't have the giant thing up here. But this water will actually stay here for a decent bit of time. We can continue pumping out as this goes lower and lower, should we need to. But obviously, main priority is getting this tank up and running, because that's going to almost double our water storage capacity. And we're really going to want to make sure this is all taken care of and good to go. So this is going to go... I should have had this go up to 2.0 before, but alas, it was not to be. We also have this bad water pump that is supposed to be pumping bad water. And since this is a drought, this one right here is not going to activate, which means we can actually send these guys down here to start using the bad water rig. We're going to see if we can take advantage of that, make a whole bunch of explosives, and get ourselves set up for the future. Because as a number of you have pointed out, we probably should be routing the good water between these little low areas here and here to get it over here faster. So if we have the time and the resources to make that happen, we will definitely do that. But this large tank is now ready to go, which means it's time for us to build another one, except we kind of don't have all the materials to make that yet. But having the capacity to store about 2,500 water is a huge upgrade. So I will go ahead and put another one of these up here, and we'll make sure that that gets constructed just as soon as it's able. We do have some planks, and we've got some gears. We're going to have to turn these back on. And contrary to popular belief, these 6 windmills are actually producing a pretty good amount of power. So we will roll with that, do what we can and what we need to do. And yeah, so this is already starting to dry out. We've got some time. We don't have a ton of time, but we do have some. Oh, this needs to be filled with a quickness here. So let's go ahead. This tapper's shack, actually all of this is going to come out. This is not 3x3, but this space here will end up working just fine. Those of you wondering why I'm doing a triple deep, I just want to make sure that we have at least some storage. If we are able to not continue, or I guess not able to continue putting water down into the area here. Plus, we can just build everything on top of this and make it nice and clean. That does mean that this fluid dump and this guy also are going to need to go away And we also want to have this whole thing completely blown out so it doesn't evaporate quite as fast. But that's going to be ready. We'll just platform over the rest of this, and we will put our tapper shack back in place, as well as our medium tank. And then we had a storage here for the pine resin as well, which I, for some reason, can't ever find, but there it is. That needs to be set to the maple syrup and set to supply. And that should... I did a bad here. Because I put something in the way that I should not have done. Now I've got to figure out where in the you-know-what I'm going to put a water dump. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Yeah, I don't really know that there's a great way to put everything that I've got going on here. So maybe if I reorient. No, I don't know. I think the tank of maple syrup is going to have to go somewhere else, at least in this format. Because what I need to do is I need to have a place to put the water dump, which theoretically should probably be here. That means the hole is going to have to be here, but then I'm only going to have a very small amount of space back here that I've already blown up. And if I put it around the back side, we're going to have to lose these trees to get a path around there. Not really an enviable position, is it? Well, these are only 26% of the way grown, and we already have plenty of maples. I think that's going to be our goal here. That will work out reasonably well. So that'll go there. And then we will instead place this right here. And that'll be fine. We'll just let them do what they want to do with that, I suppose. Now, this is too deep here. So why don't we come in here? I have some explosives, I have some extract. We are going to be continuing to get more of that now that this is actually ready to go ahead and go. So we might hook that up in a second next. But we really need to make sure this is taken care of over here. I actually don't know if they could reach this. No, because this isn't connected anymore. That was probably a mistake not to have these connected. Because I do need to be able to get down here, but I also have to... I guess I could just put a set of ladders here. That should be okay. Get that path out of the way. And that will connect everything nicely here. We'll just leave this alone for a little bit of time. And we will get there, see what happens. So, we are actually looking pretty good. It's just the metal is going to be an issue here. Which we do have scrap metal here in this small pile. But I had the smelter turned off. So let's turn that back on. There we go. Should be able to get that done. We have surprisingly enough power. Right now, at least. We just need to make sure that we are keeping track of what's going on here. So this is empty. 30-day drought. Oh, I do need to be careful before I get rid of this. But I really would like to build another bad water rig. I think, realistically, though, we're probably looking at building a dome. But for right now, we have the ability to go ahead and put stairs here and here, and then connect all of this. And then have a whole bunch of beavers working here. We're not going to start out with 10. We're not going to start with 5. We're going to start out with 2. And this can be paused because nobody can pump something that's not there. So that's going to solve that problem. We have also this. No sense in keeping the... is that double deep? Yeah. No sense in keeping the water up here where it's just going to evaporate faster. We will just funnel all this in here, pump out as much of it as we can, and just roll with that. Yeah, so that's going to take 4 hours to make 1 block of metal. I need another 20-something to make the other stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle here. But we can still pump out here. And that seems to be working pretty well. I imagine we're probably going to end up pumping a lot more of this out than we're willing to accept or acknowledge right now. But it'll be alright. Now, this is not a huge priority at this exact moment in time, but I do think, and a couple of you suggested, we should build another set of floodgates down here to have kind of a little secondary reservoir, and then we could also, if we go down far enough, depending on how we want to have this set up, we could dam up the side of the map here. It wouldn't be able to go up super high because this just spreads out so far, but we could put little dam pieces here and here, and then if we really felt like it, we could either come down here or we could just put in little dams between here and then here, and that would probably be a decent bit. We just need to make sure we have storage, water storage available to accommodate stuff, and whatever we can't physically store in some sort of a spot in a tank or something, then we can at least corral and attempt to get as much as we can before it dries up. All right, so this is now ready to have that put in there. And yes, I know the best course of action might not be to dump a bunch of water in a hole in the ground while you're attempting to make sure you have enough water for another 25 days with none available. But we'll see what happens. So this also needs to get blasted down. It will evaporate slower if it's not just one block wide tiles. That I can assure you. Alright, how are we looking on this? Still need 19, really? 19 metal blocks? I guess I'm going to have to build another one of these smelters. It's probably not going to be super expensive. Oh, I don't have any gears. That's probably why, although I'm not sure where the gears are going. I thought we had everything we needed for this already. Huh. Well, we'll figure it out, I guess. Badwater rig is rigging bad water, as one could logically expect. And I have 7 beavers that aren't working. We're making enough power, so let's go ahead, turn our centrifuge and our explosives factories back on. That seems to be working okay. Alright, so this is getting pretty close. I am going to go ahead and, yeah, they can still get underneath that. I will go ahead and get this detonated down, and then we'll continue down this way. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of this double lodge here. It's not really a great place for it, and if we're going to put others in somewhere, I'm going to put it in a place that makes more sense. We do have only 3 open beds, so we are going to have to build additional housing up here. But this is kind of what we were going to do. We're going to create like a new nexus of places for beavers to live. So we've got our triples. We do have to be careful not to make a place that is too inviting in terms of capacity, because need I remind you, we're in the middle of a 30-day drought, and we don't really need to have more mouths to feed and keep, I guess, irrigated. So I'm kind of tempted not to add anything quite yet, but we will get there in due time. It just is going to take a little bit. Alright, so they're going to work on this. And I don't have to wait to get rid of this, but I probably will. I want to make sure I can have space for water to go. And this should be irrigating quite nicely over here. Let's check. Yeah, it's getting there. It's a process. Because of the way they're bringing this in, I probably don't even have to worry about killing any beavers. There we go. That was risky, but I think it paid off. Okay, so now the real question is going to be, is this the same height as down here? Because that's from bottom to top here. This is 3. This is another 1, and this is 2. 2 from here. So to have this level with the bottom of this, I need to explode it out one more, but I kind of want to take this all the way to the bottom of the map. Just have a ton of water and put in kind of half-buried, half-sunken platforms with some pumps on there that could get activated when the water gets low enough. I don't know, just some ideas. We did something kind of like that in the first Helix Mountain playthrough. All the way back in, oh man, was that like September of 2022 that I did that? I want to say it was. Maybe. I don't know exactly when that would have been. But what I did there is I made kind of a tiered system of water pumps. That was a Folktails playthrough as well. And every time the reservoir level got low enough, another level of pumps became unflooded and was able to be manned. Would you still say manned if it was worked by beavers? Would it be beavered instead of manned? I don't know. I am not a linguist. We need 11 more metal blocks. We are still working to a certain degree here. Man, you know, I think it's just going to make sense to put another one of these smelters in place. I don't know where all of our gears are going. So I don't remember anything that's going to consume those. Oh, hold on. This is... Why is this dry over here? Oh, this is paused. That needs to be unpaused. Okay. Yeah, once this is unpaused... Oh, it's super dry. There we go. Get a little bit more in here. This as well. These are no longer... Yeah, these are no longer set on a timer, so this needs to be unpaused. Yeah, definitely should probably fix that stuff. I'm not so worried about this. Well, one, it's not actually... No, it's finished. It just isn't being manned or beavered or what have you. But I guess we'll let them take care of that. We don't want to lose these trees. Okay, this is completely dry, so I should have paused that a long time ago. This still has a little bit of water left to grab out of this. So what we'll probably end up doing is continuing to build down in here if we end up needing that water. But something we probably should start the process of doing is putting in some floodgates. And people actually had the idea of just setting up floodgates right here. Like so. Just all the way across. And then having this just spill over here to kind of, I guess, skip a lap, so to speak. And then right along this side as well. Well, this would have to be triples. And it also wouldn't have to be 6 wide. I think I'd just do... I think I could get away with... Yeah, I'll just do 6. But this would end up being levees as well here. And that would need to be... Oh, it's not going to let me take this out, is it? That's annoying. Well, we'll have to... Oh, wait, no we won't. Because this is going to block it off anyway. So this will be something for them to eventually build. The rest of this stuff. And having these all the way up is just going to shove water down here. And then this will shove water down here. We will have to make sure it doesn't come down here and flood all of this area. But it's going to be a while before this gets built, so in fact, I'm just going to pause that set of floodgates so we don't spend all of our planks taking care of all that garbage. All right, so that's looking okay. It's going to evaporate, which is unfortunate. So instead of letting that completely go to waste, I figured we could put in a couple of pumps and at the very least store the water somewhere else. We can always tear these out. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Still needs 7 metal blocks. Yeah, this definitely needs to be a thing. Let's unpause, excuse me, these gear workshops. Get those guys going. But they're going to be using these planks something fierce because, well, I told them to build buildings that require planks. So I'm going to go ahead. Come on. Let me pause the correct things here. I'm going to pause those because we kind of need to. Nothing to do in range. Oh yeah, there is. We can cut these trees down. That'll work out just fine. Go grab those for me. I know you can reach them. 5 more metal blocks. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and prioritize these water pumps to get those things going so we can save some of this water. I know we don't really have that much extra space, but we will by the time this is done. We have scrap metal. Do we still have some left to get? Oh yeah, we still have some. But we are going to need to find another source, and I guess probably easiest thing is just to come over here, because there's none here. And we'd have to come all the way over here. Or we could just, you know, go across to the other side of this lake here. But we're not quite there yet. This is just about done sucking all the water out of, well, what it can reach at the very least. A large water pump, if we could find a place to put it, would go down another 2 blocks. If I were to put it here, I'd have to build a couple of the little, what are these called? Platforms? Yeah, there we go. I'm smart. Remember, kids. That would fit if I did... Well, I would have to build a lot of platforms, but I think I could make it work. I know we're going to want to have this later on, so why don't we do this, I believe. Yeah, it's only one more level down, so I want to try and get one more down from that. So maybe we don't want this. This might actually be the best option to come down to here, but there's trees in the way. Yeah, because this is going to be... Yeah, it's going to be pretty close to come down that way, so we probably actually want to do a little bit of this stuff. Yeah, and that's going to have to go there. And it's going to be useful to have this long-term anyway, so let's not, oh. That was maybe not my best. Maybe not my best work to put this down here. Let's, evaluate our options here. I probably should have moved that up one more level. They started building this? I guess they have. Not this guy. If I leave it here, we can get a pretty good amount out of it, but this is going to flood almost immediately, just as soon as it comes back. So I think, unless we want this to be like a super emergency pump, in which case we'd probably want it to go all the way down and not stop here, that would not be the best use of our resources. So let's rip this out. They haven't really built that much of it anyway. But if we're going to commit to that bit, we need to make sure that we have the ability to take advantage of all of this. Now that's going to be 2. That's going to be another one, another one, another one. Let's go here. Yeah, let's do this if we're going to actually put this all the way down. Because that will go to the very bottom of what's available. Yes, and that's actually in a pretty convenient location too. We can do, well, assuming that actually is going to play nice here. Yeah, that would work. But it would have to, we'd have to have everything else sucked out first, or evaporated, or whatever have you. But that's going to be some nice emergency pumping that we're going to have access to here. Obviously, that's not the highest of priorities. But what we can also do, since this is set up this same way here, we can just go right off this same stack. And we can have this set up to go, well, I can't go... Oh, I can? Really? Huh, that seems kind of broken. Not going to lie. Yeah, I was just going to say, do one of these numbers, because then that will suck enough water out. It's actually almost usable now, so this would almost be like a tiered thing. Like, this drains all the way, then this drains a little bit, and then this can kick in when you probably, definitely will need a ton. But we'll let them take care of that. Is this the best way to be spending our time on pause in a middle of a 30-day drought? Probably not. But life goes on, and this will be a fun little thing to distract ourselves with. But I will go ahead and put a large tank up here for storage purposes. I know we're not going to be able to build this for quite some time, but we are going to do our best. That's all you can be expected to do. Alright, 2 more metal blocks, and then this will be done. The water is actually... it's evaporating at a slightly alarming rate here. And by slightly alarming, I mean definitely alarming. Because this is no longer irrigated enough to keep these crops alive. Yeah, we're going to have to maybe look into lining the bottom of this whole thing with regular levees. Because the regular ground is going to absolutely just suck all of the water out of these reservoirs. The new irrigation mechanics, I guess, kind of discourage the use of all of that stuff. And by all of that stuff, I mean a lack of levees. I don't know. Do what I do, not what I say, except for when I say do what I say and not what I do. I'll keep you on your toes. We'll keep each other honest here. I really needed this to be done substantially before it is. Because now this is getting pretty gone here. I have a little bit I can send out. But we're not looking great, folks. I'm going to pause these. Got to keep things irrigated. Oh, well, now this is done. It's about time, huh? Well, this is now completely drained. We need to have this built. Why does that say it's too far from a district? Oh, because the ladder's not done yet. So at least we still have this water to pump out from, because I think we're probably going to need it. We got another 15 days. Technically, for about 100 beavers, we should have enough water, but we also have to keep our crops irrigated. And that is not exactly going according to plan. And wouldn't you know it, this large tank is waiting to be built as well. We just don't have the juice. And there's no wind currently, so we can't really do anything except wait. Industrial style. But these guys are going to make some science since there's nothing else to do. Which, you know, is a good idea. The only problem is I need the wind power to make the planks so I can make the gears so I can build everything else. Definitely want to do as much as we can here. Alright, so we have extract, we have explosives. So, since this is empty, this is actually a really good time for us to continue expanding all of our stuff down here. Let's do that. Let's just go ahead. Just get all of this a nice uniform depth. And then we can continue all of this. I only have 40. I only have 40 explosives, so we are going to have to keep making more. But that's going to require us to have some power here. And we are going to need to replace these platforms. Let's see, what is this? This is 6 to here, and that's... Oh, cool. I can unlock the incredibly expensive and dumb 6x1 bridge if I feel like spending a whole lot of resources and science on that, which I don't particularly do. Oh, come on, they still haven't built this yet? I guess they are waiting for planks. Gears-wise, to save the planks, at least for right now, I'm going to turn off 2 of those gear workshops. Probably should build some more lumber mills. Yeah, that's exactly the reason why, is I knew this was going to stop. That was going to cause some problems for us. But this guy is all done, so we can go somewhere else. I suppose these guys are going to... No, I don't need to pause it. Some of you got into me in the comments here for having it prioritize, or not prioritize stuff, rather. Just pausing instead of deprioritizing items. So I will appease you today, and we will just slightly decrease the priority. It is kind of hard to just pick this out of nowhere, when this probably, and by probably I mean definitely, should be the first priority to get this pump up and running, because that's going to allow us to get that pump up and running. So we'll make that what these guys are doing here. Oh, this is not unpaused. That needs... Oh yeah, see, we were just absolutely churning through water. And if this is empty, let's go ahead and open this floodgate. That's going to get this little tiny reservoir emptied out, and we'll be able to suck some of that water up into our giant pumps. And this little bit, well, I guess we'll just stay here, which is fine, I suppose. Yeah, this really is only going to work on the one here, which is unfortunate. So now, I don't really need to pause these, but I will, because there's no water in here, and we don't want to get ourselves in too much trouble. Yeah, so triples here. We're also going to want this to all be connected. And that was why I brought up the bridges, because the bridges obviously are going to allow us to place dynamite underneath them, whereas this right here, you can't go under the platforms. So at the very least, I really want to try to avoid using metal if at all possible, since we don't have a ton of it. I could unlock the triple bridge and just have a short span here, because this is 12, so I could just take these three out and these three out and just have a little bridge right here. Yeah, bridges don't make that sound. I don't know why I made that sound, but you know how it goes. This is... Oh, this is still connected. If we wanted to be a little bit dumb about it, I could just take this out and we could research the 3x1 bridge. But that takes the planks we don't really want to mess with. Don't really want to mess with those. We need to be building the large windmills. That's what we should be doing, but that takes paper, and we only have 4 pieces of paper because I didn't want to spend beaver or wind power to make more paper, but I think we're going to need to, because these generate 300 apiece. But they also need gears, which we're not currently making. Well, we're not currently making anything because we don't have the power for it. But it's fine. Got Mike O'Donnell here, pumping away, making way for this to get built. We're not going to worry about this quite yet until we are in dire straits for our water situation. But overall, I think it's, it could be a lot worse. We have certainly done much worse. I can guarantee you of that. So these trees are looking good. That's right. I need to build another forester to replant these trees. Oh, that's so close. It's not going to let me. Not going to let me get away with this. Not going to do it. That's unfortunate, because I had already built all of this stuff. This pine resin and maple syrup. To actually reach over here, I'm going to have to get rid of this. I know it's probably driving you guys insane when I sit here and do this, but I do have to have these trees planted back, and they are all queued up for planting. Yes, they are. Okay. I need to uncut all of these trees. So I will take that as a success right there. Let's get rid of this lumberjack flag, which is going to give us... I guess I could have just paused it in case I need to use it later, but we'll just leave that alone for now, I suppose. Yeah, that's going to be pretty safely left alone for a little bit of time. We got 10 days left. Then we'll see what happens, I suppose. Alright, that's going to be a nice, bigger bit of space here. Yeah, I don't have any regular planks. I think I still have the treated plank factories paused. I do. I do have those paused. It's just the wind is so unpredictable. And I haven't actually researched this, so I'm not going to come right out and say that this is completely wrong. But people seem to be of the belief that placing windmills higher on the map is going to get more wind power. I don't think that's true, but I also haven't tested it. So if you have actual definitive proof of this, that this being that placing windmills higher yields more power, please do share. I don't think the game is programmed that way. I think in theory you could hide these at the bottom of the map and they would still generate power. But I don't know for sure. So again, I don't want to just come right out and say, "Oh, you're not right because I don't think you're right." Well, that's a bad argument. Back up your statements with evidence and proof and make reasonable decisions and have reasonable discussions with people. That's how you're going to win arguments. But I digress. I need to have some more explosives. I need to make some power. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's making a decent bit. It's not making a ton. Oh man, I need the metal so I can keep making these giant tanks. Because we really want to have these. Really want to have them. That's going to be pretty crucial. And I also said I was going to build these floodgates and stuff down here, but I just don't have the resources yet. I absolutely want to make sure that before the drought is over, that I make full use of this bad water rig here. And I've got so many extra beavers. Let's just go all out. Let's make a whole bunch of bad water. We have storage for... Oh, wow. This stores a lot. It stores 1,200 in there. Well, that is certainly progress. Yeah, we want to make sure this is maxed all the way out before the bad water comes back in here. Because as much as I would love to build a second one of these, we do not have those resources at this exact point in time. And we probably should be dedicating our efforts to expanding our storage, well, our big outside storage of water, if at all possible. But I cannot make enough planks. And I know there's a ton of projects going on that need planks to be built, so I shouldn't be complaining. But the fact of the matter remains the same. Yep, just waiting on planks, and I have the beavers to run it. I just don't have, the way this is laid out, I don't really have the space. It's just very much not ideal how I've had this set up this whole time. Gonna have to figure something out. So I imagine what's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna have to have something like I don't know, maybe build another couple buildings on this side and then send power over in some way, because I can't have the beavers walk through it obviously, but I could come over, say right here. That actually might work. Build that way. Next, I don't have the powered levees or anything. I felt like that was a little bit too much for this playthrough. But this is going to give me opportunity to put in another lumber mill, and then we could just bridge the gap across here. Again, with more platforms and things we probably don't, strictly speaking, need. Actually, that can be a good T intersection. So I can put another thing on the outside here. But you weren't ever going to fit anything here. Of course, that's the first thing they build that I immediately want to rip out and replace with another T or a four-way. But we can do that later if we ever actually need to have it. Yeah, I can't make the materials fast enough to justify switching to the large windmills. Yeah, so they're going to plant that. We're looking pretty good here. Could definitely be better, but also could be a lot worse. This needs to be paused. 13 beavers that aren't doing anything. Well, science was already maxed out. Well, maxed out for what we've built, at least. Okay, so this is still not quite to the point of being able to support this giant thing. And we might actually not get there, depending on how this is set up. But looking into the future, if we have this clicked here, it's probably going to make sense for us to replace this guy, since he's not actually doing anything. Probably going to make sense for us to replace him with one of these. And I might actually, since we are here, might actually pop that in place, then come up here with a, nope, I need a double here, with one of these guys. And then plop this in, because I know this will be able to be used all the time. Actually, hold on. This does not need to be a single. This needs to be... Is it even going to let me do that? I don't know that it is. Well, if that's paused, then that means I can put this in. See, now I'm just... This is that galaxy brain stuff. Like, you know, the memes where the person thinks they're really smart and it's just like increasingly stupid things on the one side, and the other side is just increasingly powerful images of somebody having like a brainwave or some sort of incredible realization or whatever. That's me doing this right now. So enjoy the secondhand embarrassment that I'm feeling. But that's fine. We'll make it work. I do absolutely need to have this connected here. So if I go into the pathing here, research this 3x1 suspension bridge. Yeah, you can see, oh, that might actually look pretty nice like that. They can go the long way around and they'll be okay. This does take 30. It does take 30 planks, and I'm using the planks. I'm assuming using the planks to continue building all of this stuff up here. It's quite far removed, so that's probably at this point a fool's errand based on how this is set up. But having these tiered pumps here, I think, is going to be the smart way to do things. This is already full up of planks. And I said I wanted to put this here, but I didn't have the resources for it. Getting the water out is extremely important, and you can see that now. We're down to 365 water. We just are consuming it way faster than we can make it. And yes, you call it. I am willing to admit defeat in that regard. We really, really needed to have this locked and loaded beforehand. But it just was not going to happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make that a channel. I have 32. Well, I guess I might as well just fill all of that in. No reason not to. And I'll just have that 4x6 space since we have the 31 explosives. We'll try that. Do those a little bit first. I did deprioritize this one. Don't worry, that's why it's not built. Just can't quite keep up. But considering how things started off in this episode, I think we're in pretty reasonable shape. And I know we need more storage for food things, but we needed the planks more to get us in a better position to have more water later, because we have 5 days left. We're almost out. We are almost out, and this is only going to be able to pump so much. Well, now that goes all the way here at the very least. This guy is going to have to be... Yeah, this guy's going to have to be replaced up here. Large water pump. There we go. There we go. We're working. We're working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause this. But we are going to super deprioritize this whole thing here. And instead, what do I already have prioritized? I have this, which is understandable. We're going to get that taken care of just fine. And then this is actually a smaller amount of planks than I thought it was. Let's, there's still a little bit of water this one can suck up, just like this. And this one can actually suck up more, so we'll leave that in place there. I think I have this set up correct. Oh, are they the same height? They might actually be the same height. they are not the same height. I think in theory they are, but visually it's very, very close. Very close. Well, regardless, that doesn't need to be the top priority right now. Top priority right now is keeping our beavers alive for another 5 days. So, to that end, I know this is probably stupid of me to do this way, but we're going to pause the fluid dumps, because I guarantee you that is absolutely hemorrhaging water, and in 5 days there's not going to be enough, that actually evaporates for it to be that big of a problem. We will have to re-enable those, so we'll get that taken care of. Anything else? I don't believe so. So I think we can pretty safely focus on up here. Yeah, because this is not going to be... Or is it? Oh no, that's actually... See, look at me changing my... look at me changing my priorities here. Ah, man. I hate it when I'm wrong and right at the same time. Alright, so guess what? This is now the super priority. It really is the best option, even though it's going to be a little bit more irritating to build. Do I have the treated planks? I do. Do I have the gears? No, but I will, and I do have the logs. So I just have to have the triple platforms built. So we're actually not as bad of shape as I originally thought. I think we'll be okay. We'll just let them do what they have to do. So we are running out of water very, very fast. Very fast. We have 1,800 bad water, which is good. Oh, this is going to flood in 4 days, and I don't have the materials to close this off. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Oh, and this has the bad water storage in it, too. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Okay, well, this is currently empty. This is currently... Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make that bad water storage, because we're gonna have to start moving that stuff back out. This is for good water. This is already bad water. Oh, this is already almost empty. I don't want to stick it in there though, because once the regular temperate season comes back in, they're not gonna be able to get back in here without getting super sick. So we actually want to pause this now with 4 days left. And we want to evacuate as much of the bad water as we can, because we're going to need to use it to make other stuff. So this 1,800 bad water is not going to actually be accurate. Even if it says that, we're not going to have it, because they're not going to be able to get into it without getting sick. I saw a bunch of comments last time talking about I don't have enough medical beds. I only have one incapacitated beaver. I think we're okay. I think we're going to be fine. I have, what, six beds for about 100 beavers. It might be kind of a little low depending on what kind of stuff we end up building, but currently it is working enough. So we're gonna not break what isn't broken, not fix what doesn't need to be fixed, and we will let that go. All these trees have been replanted. They're irrigated properly, so that's going to go away. This is going to be set to Tapper Shack once again. And there's stuff on the ground to help us help us take care of that, so we'll leave that alone. I know, unpause the game and play already. Well, we'll do that. We'll do it. I just want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything before things get really bad, which they very well could if we only have 90 water left for another 4 days on hard. That's, what, less than 25% of what we actually need. So we got to get these guys in here. Got to build this other large water pump. Get these beavers to work. I have 31 unemployed beavers. That's not supposed to be how this works. Yeah, someone come finish this thing. Come on, it's at 76%. There you go. There you go. All right, now build the large water pump. So we are running very, very low on water. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about building all the way up here in the same district, is it takes a very long time to supply the building site. And I fear that this might not go the way that we want it to go. So this still has bad water inside. That's full. This one's already full. This one's already full. So in terms of actual storage we have, it's full. In terms of, you know what? You know what? Oh, do I do it? Do I put the bad water in the large tank? So we're not going to fill it with the good water, but I also don't want that to be taken up by the bad water at the point where I actually need it to have good water in there. Oh boy, what a conundrum we find ourselves in. I think I'm going to lean on the side of no for that, but I will switch this one to bad water. This is already extract, so that's fine. But we need to build a larger tank or a couple larger tanks over here. So that's what we'll do. We'll get 300 more bad water out of this bad water rig before, well, not before we pause it. It's already paused. That's how they're getting it out of there. But we will do our best. See what happens here. This is... Please nobody come in here. Whoa, we were close. We were so close. I keep pausing. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry, but I am sorry a little bit. We have 31 planks. I don't need any more planks to build this guy. This is actually already... Oh, that's pretty close. So I'm going to feel comfortable now. Yeah, let's do that. Come in here with our 3x1. Place that there, and then most importantly... Oh, I gotta be careful. I gotta let them grab these rubble bits here. Build that part of the bridge so we can blast underneath it, and then everything will be connected. And by everything, I just mean under here. And that'll be okay for right now. Won't be perfect. Oh, we're out of water. We're out of water. We're out of water. Oh, the gears. The gears, the gears, the gears. I guess all bets are off now. We just absolutely need this stuff. I'm going to pause centrifuge the explosives factory so we can have a little bit more power back. So we got to make gears. We got to make the planks. We don't need the paper quite yet. Don't need it quite yet. I need this pump in place because our beavers are thirsty. They are very, very thirsty. And we might be able to survive another 2 days, but the amount of time it's going to take for the good water to get back down there that's not something we want to be we don't want to be messing with that. So yeah, we're going to run into some interesting management issues when the bad tides come around, because these beavers are going to want to come down here, so we're really, really going to have to stay on top of this. Although if it's flooded, they're not going to go to it anyway. Well, I guess we'll just see what happens. So there is some water here. This is set for haulers. This needs to be prioritized by... And I guess that's what our beavers are just going to spend the rest of their time doing for right now, is going all the way up there to get some water. But this is going to be in pretty good shape here in just a second. In fact, I almost have enough planks to do this other side. But I'm not going to do it quite yet. We might have to tackle that in bits and pieces. But I think what this means is we have successfully survived the 30-day drought. We did not necessarily have the best time doing it in terms of beaver well-being. But I did not see anybody die of thirst or starvation. I know there's 1 day left, so there's still technically time for things to go wrong, but we are pumping out of our little emergency reservoir down here. And it is working. That does unfortunately mean, though, that this is going to take a little bit longer to fill up. And once it does, we're going to lose the ability to pump out of it because, of course, the building will be underwater and it won't function anymore. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I just need them to place these. Actually, this should be the priority here. As long as they can actually place at least one of these, I think we'll be in okay shape. I just got to get them to come and do that first. Alright, so well-being, the thirst meter is actually improving. That's encouraging. That's very encouraging. So I do want to take a second to apologize to those of you who are excited about having the second dam down here, or having a couple other things put in that I did not get to. But the most important thing is we survived with the beavers only dying of old age. We got, I'm not going to say we have plenty of food, we have enough. We have enough food. And while we do technically have 0 water, it's not all doom and gloom, because now the drought's over. Cycle 20 begins, and this is going to start surging up and up and up, and before too long, it's definitely not going to be a short process, but before too long we will have water back down here. So now is probably about a good time to start wrapping today's episode up, but I do want to see water get down here. It is unfortunate I could not make enough planks to make this happen, but it's just so important to have this actually connect to something down here. We've bridged our gap, so to speak. But I think now, because they have all the logs, I think they just need the planks. So if I'm able to actually get this constructed quickly enough, since this is a storage for planks, I doubt that we're going to be able to completely take care of all of this. But if it's enough to start the process of the water surging over this little bit, a tiny bit earlier than it normally otherwise would, that's going to be good news for us in the long run. And both of these are put underwater. I will pause them so that nobody gets drowned or anything, but every little bit counts. We're just very, very thirsty beavers. I really hope they're not going to come down here. So the only way to guarantee they don't do that is to remove the stairs. Was that oh man. I know not all of you will have seen this, but there's a cartoon on, well, Cartoon Network of all places, what else would it have been, called Ed, Edd and Eddy, that aired, oh, I don't know, 20 years ago? But one of the episodes, one of the characters is grounded, and he lives in the basement, so his parents remove the stairs that go up into the house. And I don't know why this is the one thing I remember from that show, but I just, every time I delete the stairs, I think of that poor guy in the basement, like, they took the stairs, or whatever it is he says. And it's one of those things you see as a kid, you're just like, wow, that's completely stupid. But you get older and you realize, well, okay, the parents actually were kind of smart doing that. That's a pretty effective punishment to just remove the stairs. It's like, how are you going to get out? I don't know, the fire marshal probably wouldn't have too many positive things to say about that. But since when is the fire marshal inspecting private homes anyway? Well, at least where I live, they don't do that. I don't know. Your country, they might, and I don't have an answer for that. But here comes water. And this is, oh, they're so thirsty. They are, oh, they're so thirsty. But all will be well before too long, because now we're back in business. Back in business, pumping away. I don't think we're going to have anybody die of thirst. I have not seen a single one. And while it is, ooh, yikes, it is definitely bad news. Are you serious? With a drought in 3 days. Okay, well, that is why I've been trying to blast this out this whole time. Because there's just so much that we've got to get fixed. So much. 'Cause now that I actually have power, I can unpause all of this stuff, actually. Yeah, let's make that happen. But at least the beavers aren't thirsty anymore. Oh, are you serious? You had to wait until right now to die of thirst on day 3 of cycle 20. That's the only one. Is that the only one we lost to thirst? It appears to be. All right, well, animation overload. Sorry that your beaver was unable to survive without water. I know that's a big scandalous thing to have happened. But let's get these dumping again, at least the ones that we want to have dumping. And we gotta get pumping. Gotta get pumping. We need the gears. We're making the gears. Oh, they're putting that in the large tank. I guess that's also necessary. We'll be okay. Ah, yes. We're flooded. Flooded once again. And that was something I was going to do. I should have done... Oh, I should have done it while this... Oh, man. I should have done it while this whole thing was busted up. I'm not going to be able to get in there now. Okay, if I take this out, make this 5 wide, that's going to be double floodgate. Oh, I've got the resources for that. Let's do that. I got 1.9 days. We can unflood by just completely lowering this down. I should have done this earlier, but I didn't, and this is going to kill so many crops. Or maybe it won't. Alright, that's going to work. Hopefully fine. Still just that one dying of thirst. Right? Okay. Okay, let's make that a priority. Come get this stuff. They're not... Oh, they can't reach this. Boo. Boo. There you go, 1.4 days. Build this. Build our 5th floodgate. So at least I can say I answered that one that people had been asking about. Okay, that's a little bit more. I only have 9 explosives, so I can't really do too much else. But we did increase our capacity. We've got a lot, and I do mean a lot more, in terms of capacity in this water storage system. I've got up to 4,260. Now we just need to have this water pump actually going here. Really got to get that thing going. So this is done. Come get your logs. I don't really need to be that worried about it, but let's go ahead and build this double floodgate. These guys are set. Which one of these? Oh, I didn't automate this one. That's right, because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do it, so I just didn't do it. Okay, food-wise, we want to get these numbers up. But if this is constantly irrigated, we're going to be in good shape. And we'll be able to deal with that with minimal issues. Oh man. I wish I had had this set up earlier. Oh man, it is just so close to being useful. This is 7 going here. Okay, I guess that's fine. And then for right now, as long as these can be interconnected a little bit, I think that's something we would like to see. At least for right now. I don't know. This is a pretty important thing. They still haven't rebuilt this? Oh, gears. That's why. This is done. This is done. Prioritized by haulers. Prioritized by haulers is already done. Okay, so we only have 800 some water stored up now. This needs planks, which we technically have. Oh no. Oh no. We're absolutely having this finished. There we go. Now you can go to bed. So that is looking good. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't fix our floodgates. Wait, yes we did. Oh, okay. That was the other map. I had to redo those. Okay, so this is actually gone all the way around. Anyway, drought started 22 days. I believe Yeah, actually, this is good because this is going to retain water up here a little bit longer. Having it set up like this. Granted, it's only going to be this little pool right here because this is just spilling over. But that is not a bad thing. And I know here comes our drought again. After I'm saying, oh no, I don't have any power and I'm going to have... Okay, well, I'll go ahead and just not worry about that because I have the power of the giant windmill. And then also the giant windmill. That, oh man, I hate that. Oh, I hate that it put it up there. They can't reach. Why would it do that to me? Oh man. Some sort of programmer nonsense. I might as well just have this whole thing. But I don't have enough planks for that. I just need to be able to get up here to grab these things. Actually, you know what? We're not cavemen. We have technology. Yeah, let's grab all this stuff. Get that done. I know it's the end of the video, and here I am still going. I just can't resist. I will go ahead and place this large windmill here. Now that we can actually make paper at the paper mill. Yeah, the gears are going to be an issue, but we'll make it happen here. All right. Anyway, so now that that's taken care of, it is time for our customary end of video fun, which is where, of course, I thank you for being here and for putting up with me and all of my nonsense. But we do have a good time with these videos. I like to think so, at least. So this is now ready to go. We have 1,300 water stored up, and we can keep pumping out of here, which is going to help us out quite a bit. And maybe next episode we can get this whole thing finished up, which is going to divert water earlier here. But before that's in place, we are going to have to dam this up here so we don't flood our tree farms. But everything else so far is looking pretty good. Just blow that up. Blow that up, and then we'll get that connected. Next time, don't let me forget. There we go. That's all she wrote on the water. We've got actually a lot closer than I thought on this large windmill here. And we'll be able to hopefully generate a little bit more power and take care of the rest of this stuff. But that is well and truly all the time we have for today. Again, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, etc., please do not hesitate to let me know down below in the comments. I do read all of them, even though I cannot respond to everybody. I do make sure to read them, and I make notes of what you guys are suggesting and ideas and everything. So look forward to talking with you there. And of course, want to recognize the beard boosters who've been seeing their names scrolling on the screen this whole time. But their support makes it possible for me to keep doing this. So really appreciate those folks, and I appreciate you too, even if you're not part of that. And I hope you'll be able to join us again tomorrow for Water Beavers. And then we'll be back in the Iron Teeth playthrough on Thursday. Then on Friday, I believe, is going to be another episode of this. Water Beavers Saturday, Iron Teeth on Sunday, maybe Monday. Maybe we do Water Beavers on Monday too. I don't know. We're pretty close to the end of that series. At least the end that I'm going to impose on the series, because it could easily go for 50 or 60 episodes, but I don't think you guys want to see me struggle that much more than that. But we'll see what happens with that. But at any rate, that's all the time we got. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.